Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
You shook up the world again.
I did it again. But God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Oh man, thank God. I was gonna go to this game with my cousin. I was like literally we were about to buy the tickets on the Ticketmaster app. Like his thumb was over the button, and last minute I decided to pull out, and I said, you know what, let's do it another day. Thank God we never ended up pulling through with it. That would have been a miserable experience. You know what that felt like? That felt like the game at the Garden that I went to last year in February, where the Knicks were missing all of their regulars, not just starters. They were missing all of their top 7. And they just they bogged their way to a loss against the Dallas Mavericks. That's what that game felt like. But obviously they were healthy and they ended up winning this game. But to say that that felt like a good win would be a lie. That was gross. That was far and away. It even beats the Charlotte one, the most underwhelming win of the season. It was a very disturbing game for the most part. The Nets are an atrocious basketball team. Terrible. They are a tanking 12 seed who they're 14-30, but remember they got off to that mediocre start where they were like 9-10, and since then in their last 25 games, that would make them 5-20, a 200 team. They were also without Cam Thomas last night, and if you care, Ben Simmons. It was gross. It was so gross. And there were moments in the game where it looked like, okay, this is it. This is where the Knicks can finally step on the pedal and gain some separation here. They never did. They never did. Late in the second quarter, the Nets make a bit of a run. They push the tempo, and they're getting out in transition off of Knicks misses. The Knicks aren't getting back well. Most of the first half, the Knicks were actually generating some good looks, but the shots just weren't falling. Third quarter comes, you'd think they'd come out the gate with a purpose to end this game. And that was an ugly quarter defensively where they allowed, 1 billion offensive rebounds. And so to all the fans that think Thibs is a big bad idiot for not being aggressive in coverage, like second chance points and offensive rebounds are another reason why he doesn't like to primarily go to a hedge, to a blitz, a switch, anything up at the level. No, it wasn't. That's not why the Knicks were giving up boards left and right. But like at the end of the third quarter there in the final seconds, there was a possession where Towns and Bridges, they blitz D'Angelo Russell, while Precious is also on the perimeter closing to Johnson. Johnson drives the closeout on Precious, misses the floater, But the Nets grabbed the offensive rebound because no bodies were down there for the Knicks. They had all their bigs up at the level. And that resulted in 2 free throw attempts at the end of the period for Wilson. Thankfully, he missed both. But that's what, if you're aggressive primarily, you're going to have that happen more and more. I just, when I saw that happen, I'm like, well, this is kind of one of the reasons they play conservatively in a drop. It's because they want to shut down the lane. They want to crash the glass. And then the fourth quarter comes, and it was one of the worst offensive performances you're going to see from the Knicks. They took just 2 3-pointers. They didn't make one. It was some of the worst offense, 15 points. Fortunately, the captain saves the day with some big baskets down the stretch. He made 3 shots in a row during crunch time, which is the final 5 minutes of a 5-point game or closer. He knocks down a go-ahead pull-up jumper over Claxton with the Knicks down 1. He gets a nice transition finish the next time down. And then he knocks down a step back coming off pick and roll with about a minute and change left to put the Knicks up 3. Scored 8 points in the fourth there. Also, credit to Josh Hart for grabbing a big-time rebound late. That one he got where he was, forget who missed it, but he crashed from the perimeter, from the wing, and just got there before anybody else could and was able to stay in bed. Like, when we talk about Josh Hart, and we've mentioned this a couple times already in the show, and how people mistake his skill for hustle, that was a perfect example of what I mean. Like, of course he hustles there. He hustles all the time. But not everybody has this skill to do what he can. And it takes skill to do what he did. To fly in from the wing, grab the rebound, have the balance to stay in bounds while you're leaning out of bounds, and then call a timeout while maintaining possession of the ball before you fall out of bounds. Skill. That's hard to do. So credit to Josh Hart for coming through big down the stretch. Credit to the evil Tom Thibodeau for making a very smart substitution at the end of the game. On that second to last shot by subbing out Towns and Brunson for Precious and Deuce so he could go to a switch everything late. Right now, Precious was very late on that switch to Cam Johnson, and he got lucky as shit. Because if that shot dropped, that would have put the Nets up 1 with 15 seconds left. And, but it would have been really, really ugly. But the idea was smart to remove your 2 pick-and-roll mismatches and switch everything there. And credit to OG Anunoby. One of his best defensive halves all year in that second half. He also scored 20 points. He was contesting, fighting over with a ton of physicality. I mean, he was getting through the top of those screens like butter, blowing up pick and rolls, staying attached well off the screen. He was doing a really nice job at the point of attack, off ball, on ball. Loved his defense. And so the Knicks pull away and win this game by the score of 99-95, a throwback score at MSG Brooklyn last night. You heard that correctly, 99-95. The Knicks pull away from the Nets like it's 2007. So, not much positive to talk about in this game. Not much to talk about, to be honest, with this game. Who really wants to dive deep into a 99-95 game? And it's not like it featured a ton of great defense. Like, it featured a team that's supposed to be a title contender, which they're not, and then a team that's tanking. So, and both teams last night played like they were tanking. Gonna make that the thumbnail. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I think like the Knicks, there is a recurring 3-point issue. And no, it's not that, they shot poorly, which they did. They shot 29%. It's not that they can't win when they don't shoot the 3-point shot well. That's an overused go-to narrative like home run or bust with Yankees fans. They're also 7-10 this year when they're 33% or worse, where last year they were 6-19. So that's 240 versus 412 win percentage. But they have an issue where, this is something that's bothered them all year. Switching defenses eliminate the Knicks' 3-point volume. They have issues getting up 3-point looks against defenses that switch everything. We've seen schemes this year. Orlando, OKC, Washington, a few other teams where they put the big on Josh Hart or sometimes on Obi, and they'll put their wing or small to Cat. The Nets last night ran a traditional coverage, but it was a simple switch everything with more traditional coverage. And that limited the Knicks to a measly 28 3-point attempts. Towns and Brunson combined for just 7 3-point attempts. I thought the Nets did a really solid job of switching wingspan to Brunson, especially in the 17 minutes that D'Angelo Russell was off the floor. That way Brunson couldn't target his switch. So there was no true mismatch to Hunt. And with the Nets switching everything, they didn't have to rotate help. They could stay home. And the Knicks, because of that, were forced into these unfavorable mismatches, these unfavorable matchups in one-on-one. Brunson versus a wing, right? And that's because he loves that short mid-range area. When he gets wingspan on him, it's only natural for him to try and penetrate and get to that short mid-range area. You saw these issues happen, again, in the non-D'Lo minutes, late second, late fourth quarter. Towns versus a wing or a small. He prefers to drive the closeout and attack the basket that way. It's tougher for him to get a 3-point look off with a wing defender on him. So that continues to be a problem. Not going to dive too deep into the specifics. I will say, it sounds odd because the Knicks scored 99 points in a 2025 basketball game. I thought they did a nice job of exploiting the Nets hedging and blitzing and any coverage that they had at the level. I thought the Knicks actually did a pretty good job of exploiting that. By moving the rock off of the hedge or any type of aggressive coverage. They had 29 assists last night on their 40 makes. So that was a 73% assist rate because they were facilitating well against those aggressive coverages. They did a nice job in the first half getting good looks out of pistol offense, Gator offense, double drag offense. The first basket of the game for New York, the Nets are up at the level with Claxton and Johnson, and the Knicks run pistol Chicago between McHale, Brunson, and Cat. Cat hits Brunson for a mid-range look. Pistol is a good offense to play against an aggressive coverage because you're making the back cut off the defender at the level so he can't recover quick enough. A few minutes later, the Nets hedge off of Precious and onto Brunson with Sharp. Precious is now ahead on the short roll. So Brunson finds Hart as the short one pass over. Hart finds Precious on the roll with a Gator pass for the basket. Again, Gator pass, another good way to beat a hedge because you're getting that pass to the big before the defender can recover. Early second quarter, the Knicks ran a double drag with Deuce as the first screener and Cat as the other screener. Cat as the roller brings the weak side tagger up top, which pulls him away from the basket, and that allowed Campaign to drive right for an open lane. So they were doing a nice job cutting and moving the ball off screening to counter those hedges and blitzes that the Nets were throwing on Brunson. And that's really the only positive thing I could say about this offense. I mean, Karl Towns was great, right? I mean, I'm not going to take that away. As a matter of fact, Towns gets the game ball. I thought he was fantastic. 25 points for Karl Towns. 16 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Shot 11 of 18, 3 of 4 from the foul line. He was a plus 16 in the box score. His 11th game ball of the year. Again, like, those are dominant numbers. Talked about it before. It didn't feel like he dominated. That happens a lot. But you look up and you got video game numbers on the screen. Yeah, he was great. A ton of putbacks, tip-ins. Thought he was great on his drives. His drives this year have been very impressive. I think that's helped him now that he has, he's got spacing around him without Rudy Gobert playing alongside him. He's got spacers and screeners outside to remove strong side help. I like the way, he ran pick and roll he ran good pick and roll with Brunson, of course. I thought he ran some good pick and roll with OG Anunoby. In the middle of the third quarter, there was a nice play where they ran a high pick and roll. OG hit him with a pocket pass. Towns drove. Took care of Claxton with a size advantage. I know Claxton is very long, but Cat's a much bulkier, big. I thought it was a great game. I do think I wish that the Knicks posted him a little bit more off the switch. With the Nets switching Claxton onto Brunson, I thought the Knicks should have posted Cat a lot more with the small switch to him. Some of that is Thibs, but some of that's also your point guard. With Brunson. Like there was a possession early third quarter where Brooklyn switched D'Lo to Towns, but Brunson, coming off the pick and roll, ends up shooting a tough pull-up over Nick Claxton. He misses. There was a possession with 30 seconds left in the game. The Knicks ran that one slob action for Brunson. I thought he should have went back up to Cat there for an open wing 3. Instead, he takes that tough floater over 3 defenders and misses. But, the three-point shot, speaking of, Cat's three-point shot has not been good. It's been really tough watching him shoot the ball and miss as much as he has in these 2 games that he's been back from the thumb injury. He was 0 for 3 last night. He's 1 for 9 overall from 3 since returning. Obviously, it's important for spacing reasons, right? The ability to spread the floor and take advantage of his gravity. But that shot's not falling right now, and I'm a little concerned. Hopefully, these 3 days off helps. He doesn't play again until Saturday. But he spoke on it pregame, or postgame. He said that, he shot it straight. He said it straight up. It's been affecting my shot. So I'm a little concerned. I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping this isn't a big deal. Is this a situation where he does need to get surgery and he might have to get it in season, and now we're talking about a big fucking Randall thing all over again? Where they wait, and it's like, oh, shit. I hope not. It's a friggin' thumb. But Cat's a shooter, and it's his right hand. But Cat gets the game ball. Thought he was fantastic. Let's go to the bench. Second unit, Precious Achiuwa. 11 points, shot 5 for 7 from the field, 1 for 2. Likes those left corner threes. 4 rebounds. 1 second here. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1, 2, 3, 6. 6 game balls now on the year for Precious. Yeah, I thought he was fine. I continue to like the minutes with Precious at the 4 as opposed to 5, especially when Towns is on the floor at the 5. That's when it works. With Precious at the 5, it lacks size, right? Defensively, he gets overpowered. He gets killed on the boards. He has a tough time finishing in traffic. It decimates the spacing, and it takes the big off of Cat, which you don't want. When he's out there as a 5 alone without Cat, it's fine defensively because you can switch with him. And the Knicks can switch everything, especially if it's no Brunson and Cat and Precious is out there at 5. But if it's no Towns and Hart is out there and Precious is out there with Hart, then the offense becomes an abysmal watch. And I guess it's like my only qualm with these rotation patterns since Precious has been back. It's that, like, you saw it again last night. I think it was in the second quarter, early on the second. Those were rough minutes where he removes Mikal Bridges instead of removing Josh Hart. And so it left the Knicks with those Precious Hart lineups. And it's just, you're not getting offense there. You have to be aware of something as simple as that. And I know he wants the size, but you got to be more creative offensively, emphasize offense, and just stagger Mikal. But Thibs ran more of an 8.5 last night. Shamet got 6 first half minutes, didn't play at all in the third or fourth. Again, with the Nets being a team that has some size and they were dominating the glass in the third quarter, I get that part. But, the second unit's not great, man. They're not a good... There's no... I'm sorry. There's nobody on the second unit. I look at him like, oh, yeah, I'm confident with them. Campaign doesn't do it for me. Didn't do shit last night. Shamet had a quadruple 0. His minutes were fine, but, I don't know. They have no second unit talent. That's why I'm not getting on Thibs as much. There's nothing on the bench. So hopefully they make some kind of deal. I know they're restricted with what they can do. They can't really increase payroll. And if they're going to make a move, it's going to be for whatever Precious or Mitch's contract gets you. All right, Mitch is on a descending deal. It's 14 to 12. Precious is on an expiring $6 million deal. So they need something on their bench. It's such a garbage bench. I can't believe people I get the people who want Thibs to give some of the rookies a chance. But even then, it's like these guys don't defend well. So it's a front office thing. They're going to have to figure that out. But yeah, you got 3 days off now. So you're off tonight, Thursday. You're off tonight, Wednesday. You're off Thursday, and you're off Friday. You go back out there Saturday night to take on the Sacramento Kings at Madison Square Garden to continue this homestand. But, I was looking at the schedule. This next month of games, it's going to be tough, and which is a good thing. They're going to get tested. They've beaten a lot of shit competition, but they have a lot of real competition ahead. Top seeds Yes, but I'm looking at the specifics. Like teams that give them issues have, again, what we just talked about, longer defenses that can switch everything and put their big on Josh Hart and wing on Cat. And they have a lot of teams that can do that. Memphis, Boston, they play them a couple times in the next month. Cleveland, Houston, Atlanta. So they're going to be tested. But Sacramento on Saturday. And I think that's it, folks. That's all we got. So we're going to get to our trivia when we return here from break, and that's going to be it. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stay with us. BD4 is available on social media for those who want to follow. You can find BD4 on Instagram at BD4Pod. You can find us on X at BD4Pod. And you can find us on Facebook by simply searching BD4. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, this podcast is also available in video format on YouTube. So be sure to go over to the YouTube channel, BD4, subscribe, like the videos, comment and tell me how much I suck or maybe how much you like the video. We'd very much appreciate it. Don't have time to sit down and watch a video? You can listen to BD4 on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And you can also watch the video format on Spotify too. If you feel like supporting the podcast, you can Venmo at Robert-Carbone-JR-28. We really appreciate your support. Do you enjoy Yankees baseball but are tired of hearing me yap? I have a suggestion for you. Go check out Yankee Crazy Podcast. Greg Gill is a Yankees podcaster on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and he's now selling merch. Go to yankeecrazy.myshopify.com. Stay connected with us. Visit BD4blog.com to explore our blog, tune into our latest podcasts, and follow us on social media. Thank you for being a part of this community. All right. Let's get to our trivia question of the day. For episode 787 here of the podcast, in our trivia question for this episode, BD4, which arena hosted the first ever regular season game between the Knicks and Nets? Which arena hosted the first regular season game between the Knicks and Nets? Not just the Brooklyn Nets. Which arena hosted the first regular season game between the Knicks and the Nets all time? So that is it, folks. I appreciate you all tuning in, as I always do. Thank you all to the new subscribers on the YouTube channel too. For those of you over there, I appreciate you all subbing to the channel. Welcome aboard. I'm going to try to get some more Yankees out soon. It's tough because they've been not doing much over the last several weeks. But we'll see what we can get out. We'll find something. So that's it. And Knicks fans, I will see you after Saturday's hopefully win. Thank you all. See you soon. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.